Ever seen anything like this? Vin Hub. So check it out. You scan the QR code, right? There's all the snacks. There's no employees. There are robots in here. There are robots taking your order. Oh my goodness. And they got everything. They got medicine. They got, oh my goodness. I have to order something. I have to. This is a crazy business model, y'all. This is a crazy business model. Can you see this? Do you see this? It's a giant vending machine. But instead of getting one Pop-Tart, you could get all the Pop-Tarts. Instead of getting the little bag of cheeses, you get the whole box, right? You go ahead and go grocery shopping in here. They got coffee made up there. They got A1 sauce. Come on, they got everything in here. Man, what? Oh, man, there's too many ways to make money, y'all. This is hard.
Why?
Shalom, call Yahweh, Yahshim, Yahushua, Yahshim Kakadash. I'm on to the elder and pastor of the ministry. Shalom to the best guys out there, prophesy, making the Bible living sacrifice, going to be elected, or it may be. You know, beating with the head for 1,000 men. You know, and in 1/3, there are noble multitudes scattered across the four corners of the earth. Starting from Babylon the Great, which is America, onto the various other part, the Israelites were scattered. Took on the Latino Native Americans. You know, you're gonna have also Israelites looking at other nations because they were scattered. A sea has been scattered. If your father goes by so-called Latino Native American, you're an Israelite because the seed pertains to Numbers 13 or number 113 or Numbers, book of Numbers. You know, the genealogy. Your bloodline is determined by, you know, the seed of your father. You know? But yeah, you saw in that video, you know, which I believe, you know, we're getting closer and closer to the MoTB, you know, which there's a part of Great Millstone, those that teach likewise doctrine, you know. It's been saying, and that's what it's been saying. But revealed into the scriptures, that was the thing that's been happening. We were equated with the scriptures, and we're in those last days. You know, and JJ thinks it's a game. You know, they've got everything's gonna be locked behind, you know, certain requirements. Ultimately, it's gonna lead to that MoTB. They're already trying to get rid of cash. It's 2026, might be that year. You know, they heavy push full steam. It could be towards the end of this year. Who knows? But 2026, you know, it seems like, hey, that's the year they want to push full steam. They might push full steam to get rid of cash, you know. And also with the whole November 1st thing, you know, that EBT thing, really, they could easily fix it. You know, it could be another stunt, you know, a political stunt, you know, for DJT. But, oh, I did it. Let's take credit for bringing back, you know, the food stamps. You know, it might be a one-time thing, or it might continue until January. Who knows? But so far, it's been the longest shutdown. You know, Micah 7 and 10. She dies by enemy shall see. Hey, these things are play E, but majority of people that's on food stamp Edomites, so-called white people. You know, they're gonna feel it the most. You know, but ultimately, and you see those articles speaking about basic income, housing, and stuff. It's gonna be when they set everything back up. It could be, you know, it could happen multiple ways. Who knows? We're upon the Lord. It could be you have to do certain things to receive those benefits. You have to get digital ID. You know, condition you towards a digital system to bring out the MoTB. And they're showing how they have complete control. Nobody be or not, basically trying to be Yahweh. 2 Thessalonians 2. Which one? 2 Thessalonians? 2 Thessalonians or Corinthians 2 and 4. No? What is it? Who? Yep. He says, who opposeth and exalted himself above what that is called Yahweh, or that is worship, so that he as Yahweh, as God, as power, says, and the temple of God, showing himself that he is God. Yeah, he's showing himself that he is God. He controls what you eat, what you do. Which right now is part of the curses. We're under the rulership of the heathen. You know? You go to our enemies for one of all things. That's part of the curse in Deuteronomy. You know? And what Job 9:24 tells you that what? Or is given right now is the wicked are ruling. It's the time of the wicked ruling. You know? The time of the Gentiles, you know, is soon to be fulfilled. You know? The rulership of Luke 21 and 24. You know? It's going to be trodden down by beginning in 7 AD and down to today. It will be sold, you know, scattered and sold as captives. You know, till the time of the Gentiles be fulfilled, and we're near that end, the time of the rulership of the Gentiles, near that end. We shall go to the wicked. So Job 9:24, that the earth given to the hand of the wicked, he covered the faces of the judges thereof. If not, when? Who is it? Yeah, if he's not the wicked, who is he? You know, who's the one? You know, painting over the Israelite pictures, putting them as, you know, Edomites as white, so-called white. You put the Lord, which in the scripture it says is dark, and a so-called black man, and yet they paint him as blonde, leprous hair, you know, leprous skin, and they put their images up. You know, they're making these movies, making Lord, you know, taking credit for certain things. Yeah, they cover the faces of the judge thereof. He's claiming to be the people, but he doesn't fit none of the prophecy that the truth of the Lord fit. You know, he's over there stolen land, that land, you know, from slavery, and he was killed, steal, and destroy. You know, he got all these things by violence, by wickedness, by blood, by witchcraft. You know, the Micah 2:1 tells you that. Let's get it. The Micah 2:1. Let's see. He said, yeah, woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their bed. When his morning is light, they practice it because it's in the power of their hand. Yeah, you know. But ultimately, what Proverbs 21, you know, to the first chapter says that a man's goings out of the Lord. You know, 21:4 or 24. You know, the king's heart is 21:1. The king's heart is in the hand of the Lord. You know, the Lord's under control. Good and evil. You know, so the wickedness they push him up on the bed, the Lord put in his bed to fulfill prophecy, because prophecy gotta be fulfilled. The MoTB Revelation 15:16 gotta come out. And right now they're setting up the system. You know, they're setting up the condition, they're showing how easily they can do it. You know, and getting things ready. They start pushing heavy. MoTB, you already got the UK, you know, certain places, shutting down banks, you know, requiring if you have a digital ID. For a digital ID, there's gonna be a medical microchip. You can mark the beast under your skin, so you can monitor and track you, you can buy or sell. You won't be able to participate in society without it. You know, you got the UK saying, without digital ID, you won't be able to get a job, participate. You know, when the MoTB implant came to be scanned in your skin, and it could be like digital IDs could be fake, stolen, etc. You know, or hacked, whatever the case may be. Try to push it, or they could just go, you know, the full, you know, stall people out. You know, they spoke about that. You know, also I'm saying, hey, get ready for a very angry war. How you get people angry? By taking away the bread and circus. You know, taking away the mirth, taking away their food. And they're gonna be bowed down. You control the food, you control the people easily. And they could do that the old-fashioned way. The boys up to you, how about Shemashah? What's them that devise iniquity and will evil upon their beds when the morning is light? They practice it because it's in power in their hands. Yeah, because the Lord gave them power right now. You know, but scripture said to judge the hypocrite but for a moment. And Job 5 said he should not, 5 was it 10 and 12? It said he should not, you know, the Lord's going to disappoint. And I'm going to get that. The Lord's going to disappoint, you know, the devices of the wicked. But so because in the power of their hand, they practice it. Yeah, they're practicing it as we speak. They're practicing how they could take your livelihood. They starve without they're showing you they have the power to do that, and they don't give a damn. They don't care if they have to start people to get this A rolling. They're on the clock, They at least, can DJ his ass. So he got to move with the swiftness. He's made the most progress towards breaking down, the society to get ready for the New World Order, because he don't give a damn. He disciplines the device of the crafty, that their hands cannot perform the enterprise. Ultimately, they're gonna come down while he's eating. He's not gonna be able to fulfill his heart desire. Is to rule, this world where everybody chips, him as we read 2 Thessalonians 24 as a God. He's not, because it's Yahushua's glory and the elect's glory. Yahushua can live in the elect. And we're gonna rule this planet and the universe. It says, in the fullness of his sufficiency, it shall be straight. Every hand of the wicked shall fall upon him, and he that, or when he's about to fill his belly, cast a fury. God shall cast his fury of his wrath upon him, and shall rain it upon him while he's eating. Yep, he's gonna get some people in the MoTB. We're gonna have some resistance. No, I can get that second time. I mentioned it in the beginning of the video. For the mystery of iniquity, it already works. Only he. No, I had Luke 21. Same thing. It said only he for iniquity doeth already work. Yeah. Only he who led it will let until he be taken out of the way. Yeah, the Lord will take him out of the way. The Lord said, "Were ye upon me, I shall rise to the prey." Habakkuk 23 said, "For the vision yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. They will tarry, wait for it, because it is surely coming. It will not tarry, and the Lord is not tarrying. They're making heavy progress. Behold, the soul which is lifted up in him. Behold, the soul which is lifted up is not upright in him. The devil is not upright. He's made to be wicked. What is there? Romans 9 it said, but just shall live by faith. They'll live by faith. The Lord gonna take care of them in that day. He's taking care of them now. Also in that day also. Yep. It says, what if Yahweh willing to show his wrath, to let his power know, and there will be much long suffering, the vessels of wrath fitted for destruction. Yeah, Lord, and long suffering. Let these devils gain his hurrah. And vessels fitted for destruction, as in the 2/3. He said, he that might make known his riches and his glory in the vessels of mercy, which I have prepared before time. Yeah, so the wicked right now is set in power to fulfill prophecy. Even us, whom he has called, not the Jews only, but also the Gentiles. The Gentiles, speaking of those Israelites that were in the heathenistic mindset, there's two sets of Gentiles in Scripture. One was in the other nations, the heathens, and there was a New Testament that could be grafted in again. The Scripture said again because they were of the fold, but they were taken by the customs. They were Hellenized. If you read the book of Apocrypha, Israel was Hellenized and forced to follow the custom, But there was some that refused to follow this custom and rather die and carry that, along. So it was like, and also we were scattered among the heathens, So those are the unnatural Gentiles, the natural Gentiles, the other nations, but those that could be delivered and restored, or the Israelites that are following heathen customs. But it said, therefore have mercy on whom you will have mercy and whom you will honor. Yeah, that's why some people, can't get this word. And that's why this word only for the so-called children of Israel, Matthew 1:21. But ultimately, the things that's what I do, the things that lead up to the MoTB. Inside the door, it says, hold on, so I can find it. Actually, went back again too. So repent for the kingdom of heaven is at hand, yeah. At that end time. This is Prophet 4, he says, verse 13. This is say he calls it all but small and great, rich or poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in the right hand or in the foot, yeah. So I thought when to the basic income, everybody gonna be the same level, whether you rich or poor. It is inclusivity. Whether you're rich or poor, which really it's an illusion, because everybody basically does say you own nothing, you happy. Everybody would everybody will equally be a slave. Why they sit at the top. Let's ball smart to get a frame bond to receive a mark in the right hand and in the forehead and the shot. By itself, say if he don't have the mark or the name, the beast, and the number of his name, so you're not gonna be able to get groceries because it's gonna be locked behind. I sort of again talking about a big vending machine type of thing. You're gonna have some of that in some stores, in Walgreens and some areas, to prevent theft. And that whole November 1st, people start stealing, they push that type of system even more. Not only give them reasons to deploy martial law troops, but also reasons to make that type of system. If people getting robbed or food places are getting robbed, he's gonna use that as a leverage, as an excuse. But either way, he's gonna do it either by blatantly by force, because everybody is wise. Even the average person know what they're scheming is wise to the tricks, so they're gonna have to do it, by withholding the food. You're not gonna. They have the luxury of doing it sneakily. That's just forever, and they're in a time clock. And that shot one.